Welcome to Intentional Divorce Insights. I'm Leah Hadley, certified divorce financial analyst, accredited financial counselor, and the founder of Intentional Divorce Solutions. I'll be your guide through the complexities of divorce, finance, and emotional wellness. Join me as we uncover practical tips and empowering insights to help you navigate your divorce with clarity and intention.
Hi there, and welcome back to Intentional Divorce Insights. I am so happy that you are here with us today. I have a wonderful guest with us today. This is Jackie Pilossoph, who is a former TV reporter and Chicago Tribune features writer and columnist who created Divorced Girl Smiling, a media company that connects people facing divorce with trusted, vetted divorce professionals. Divorced Girl Smiling, known as the Angie's List for divorce, also offers a well-known podcast, articles on every subject you can think of when it comes to divorce, and a free confidential consult. And it has been my absolute pleasure to be a member of the Divorced Girl Smiling group because Jackie has just attracted the most wonderful divorce professionals who care so much about the space and the clients. And it's just been such a pleasure to be a part of this group. So thank you, Jackie, for creating it. And thanks for being with us today.
Leah, that was such a nice introduction. Thank you so much. And thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely. It's my pleasure. And we are talking today all about the good things that come out of divorce, which a lot of times people really focus on the challenges and the negative. And the fact of the matter is, I found in my own life that I was actually able to be truer to myself and create a lot of wonderful things in my life after I went through my divorce. And I've shared a lot about that on this podcast. And so I'm excited for Jackie to share with us what she's seeing in terms of all of the good things that can really come from this. So Jackie, tell us about the good things that come out of a divorce.
Well, I'm so glad we're talking about this because, of course, nobody wants to be divorced. And all you can think about is how much fear you have and how stressed you are and how sad you are. And, oh, I feel like a failure and my kids are going to be screwed up. And there's you could go on and on about the negatives. And I hope out of this conversation that people listening feel like, oh, okay, good things are going to happen to me because of this. So they definitely will. And do you just want me to start off with one good thing?
Dive in.
All right. So people tell me, people who go to Divorced Girl Smiling, they email me, they send me messages, Facebook messages, and say, I'm really scared to be alone. And so I call that fear of independence. And divorce forces you to be independent. You don't have a choice. Whether you wanted the divorce or you didn't, you're going to be independent for a little while. You're not going to get remarried right away, but it forces you to be independent. And when you get to that point of realizing wow, I can do this, I'm good at this, I'm completely fine, I actually enjoy living alone, it's the most empowering, best feeling in the world.
It really is. And, I work with so many people who, for the first time, in a lot of cases, are managing their finances. And, maybe they let their partner manage their finances in the past, and now they've taken responsibility for that. And there's so much fear in that, right? It can be really terrifying, especially if you have a significant amount of wealth and suddenly you're responsible for it. That can feel very overwhelming for a lot of people. And to witness that transformation, because I get to see it, and it's one of the best parts of the work that I do, to witness that transformation of people going from that place of fear to really taking ownership and saying, this is my responsibility and I can actually steward this really well, is such a beautiful thing.
Right. And a lot of people feel shame about not knowing how to manage the money and never having paid bills or whatever. And Leah, I'm sure you've seen this a lot with people. But once you realize that it's not that complicated, you totally can handle it. And by the way, don't ever feel shame for that was your role. Your role wasn't to pay bills. You didn't do anything wrong. That wasn't your role. And now when you get to that point of your understanding the stock market somewhat, you're understanding investments, it's so empowering and so wonderful.
Absolutely. Even as simple as maybe you're somebody who never had your own bank account and you're going and you're opening a bank account in your name for the first time. That is such an empowering step. Absolutely.
It feels so freeing.
Yes.
And a lot of people who didn't want the divorce and they're devastated and they're scared, they realize that they really were staying in the marriage because of the comfort of the money and not having to manage their own money, not having to move. They were afraid of the changes, even though deep down inside, you realize it really wasn't right.
Yeah.
Even if you weren't the one who wanted the divorce.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So there are so many other good things. Tell us something else, Jackie.
Okay. So divorce may also cause someone to have to go back to work. And this is what happened to me. And I have to say, we could spend the whole time talking about all the benefits of going back to work because I was this like wealthy stay-at-home mom. I had worked in the past, but then I just kind of forgot that I had any ability whatsoever professionally. And I never was happy. I wasn't happy. I realize that now when I stayed home and had as much money as I wanted. And when I did have to go back to work, I was really scared. I waited way too long, which is why everyone listening needs to have a meeting with a financial advisor and figure out when exactly, how much you have to make, what kind of job you should be looking for. You need to know because I waited way too long. But when you go back to work and you finally do it, there are so many wonderful things from making your own money, not having to worry, is he going to give me the check this month? I mean, that was like the point I was at.
Sure.
Maybe he's upset about something, so he's not going to pay. And then you're going to have to call your attorney. Who needs that? Like, you should still make sure that you get your child support checks. But if you're working and having your own money, you're so much more in control.
Absolutely.
Also, socially, you make all these new friends and contacts. It's so wonderful. Also, you get to get relatively nicely dressed up. You're feeling good about yourself. You're feeling confident. You're feeling productive. You appreciate your kids more because you're not seeing them as much, but the time you're with them is like quality time. And it just leads to more and more self-confidence and success.
I love that so much on so many levels. And I have to believe, Jackie, that there are probably people who are listening who are like, that has not been my experience. That, in fact, this has been a huge blow to my confidence, and I'm really struggling right now. What would you say to those women?
You mean the divorce was a big blow to their confidence?
Correct.
Okay, so I would say a divorce is a big blow to every single person's self-confidence. And even if you're the most self-confident, well-adjusted person, you go through a divorce and it gets zapped. And you just feel like a failure and a loser. And, I'm embarrassed. And you have no self-confidence, or your self-confidence just tanks. So all I would say is you have to precipitate behavior that helps your self-confidence and your self-love come back. And one of those for me was going back to work. I just liked myself so much more. But I'm not saying everybody listening that you have to go back to work. Maybe you already work and that part of your life is working for you. But like, if you want to have self-love and self-confidence, it takes time, but I'd highly recommend divorce coaching and therapy, and figure out how you're going to craft a life that you really love and enjoy doing things, and what is going to make you happy in the future. And it takes a while to figure out for some people. It's okay if you're like, I have no idea what that is. Some lady told me that someone asked her, like, what do you like to do for fun? And she just burst out crying because she's like, I have no idea. I don't even know.
And that's common. I mean, it really is common, especially I work with so many just wonderful women who have given so much of themselves to their family over the years, to their spouse over the years. And then they really do kind of wake up and realize that, like, it's time to get to know themselves again, right? That they might not necessarily know what they really enjoy anymore because they've been so focused on everybody else.
Right. And what these life coaches and divorce coaches do is there's tools that they give you, there's questions you have to answer, there's homework for you to do to figure out some avenues. And of course, you're going to have to try a bunch of different things. This is a story I love. When I first was getting divorced, I realized my love of writing so much. And I started writing for the local paper for $50 a week, a column. I did it once a week. I was so excited. I hadn't made money in so long, and I was like, $50? Okay, that's great. And I wrote this article out what was going on in my town for the weekend. And I had to just look things up, figure it out, and write this column. But it gave me this little starting point. And I was like, okay, now I want to do more. And so I kept getting promoted within the paper. Eventually got my own column, was a features reporter, I really worked as a job that an intern would do when I first started. And I was in my 40s, mid 40s. So be humble. Don't be afraid to try new things because it will all lead to more things. And if you don't play pickleball, I would highly recommend it.
That's funny. That's really caught on. I've actually never played pickleball, but boy, do I see them popping up all over the place.
Okay. Well, the funny thing is I never have either, but every single person I know, except for me and you, play pickleball.
That's funny. So Jackie, what else? There's so many other good things that can come out of the divorce experience.
Okay. Leah, you'll probably agree with this one. It makes you more interesting, active, and unafraid. So when you were getting divorced, I don't know about you, but I would always think well, if I can handle that, I could handle anything. I mean, I actually, I don't want to be a bummer on the podcast, but I do want to share this. I actually had cancer 5 years ago. And I swear, if someone said what was worse, I think the divorce was worse. But I remember thinking okay, I got through the divorce. I'll handle this too. And listen, it wasn't a bad killer kind of cancer. So no worries on that. But it made me so much stronger. It made me unafraid of handling anything. And so if you are going through a divorce, realize that it's really going to make you such a stronger, tougher person, more interesting. I mean, people are going to want to hear your stories, and it will make you unafraid to do other things because you're in a really tough spot right now. And this is probably the hardest life you're going to have probably ever, I would think, for most people.
There's no question about it that it builds resilience and it builds character, whether you want it to or not. But yeah, that can absolutely be very challenging. But I think you're absolutely right, Jackie. I don't think I would have started my businesses if I hadn't gone through my divorce. And part of that was the relationship that I had with my former spouse. But part of that also was recognizing that I can do difficult things, that I can get through this tough thing and I can figure it out, And so that was really, really powerful for me to learn. There's no question about it.
Well, you and I are both two people who reinvented ourselves after divorce. And I love that word, reinvention. Women in their 40s, 50s, 60s, even 70s are reinventing themselves. You get to start from scratch and you are a completely different person that you were 20 years ago. And so, you take what you love, you take what you know, what you're good at, your passion, and you start what you want, and don't let anyone tell you can't do it because you can. And we both did it.
Absolutely. And I've seen women do it at every age, which is such a beautiful thing to witness. So I absolutely agree with you, Jackie, that it doesn't matter how old you are, follow your dreams and you'll be amazed at what you can accomplish.
Yeah. And every single person I know says, I need to write a book. And I go, then do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it because you want to make money and all this. Just do it because you have something to say. And if you have conviction and you get it out there, it will be successful in one way or the other. Maybe not financially, but you'll be helping other people and spreading your message, and it will lead to more and more things.
Oh, absolutely. Now, one thing I wanted to dig into a little bit more, one of the things you said before that I know is a really big challenge for a lot of people post divorce is friendships. And one of the things that you said before is you get to meet new people, you get to make new friends. So, Jackie, what advice do you have for people who are stuck in that feeling very lonely and disconnected?
I'm going to give the advice that I gave my daughter when she was in seventh grade and her friend group dropped her. I'm going to tell people what I told her, which was all you need is one friend to start with. And it is really true. And when I got divorced, I met this one girl. Oh my gosh, my daughter is actually calling right now. How weird is that? Okay. She's in college now. But when I was getting divorced, I met this woman in my kickboxing class, and we were the only two people in our community that we knew of getting divorced. And we started going out together all the time. And we became best friends for many years. And it was like, and then people, like one girl said to us, "Hey, I'm getting divorced. Like, can I go out with you guys?" We're like, "Sure." And then it became like a group. And then it would be like people would text each other when we didn't have our kids. We'd go to a movie or go out for coffee. And it was such a nice little community. And if you can build or get into a community like that, it's so supportive. And all you need is one person to start that community.
Oh, I love that so much. That's so wonderful. And such a simple way to meet somebody, right? You both had a common interest. You were enjoying a class. Like, what a great place to meet somebody.
Which is, you bring up a great point. Follow what you like to do. And I can remember like a couple times crying and calling my sister, and she'd be like, "Why don't you just go to the gym?" And I'm like, "Because I don't feel like working out. I'm just too upset." And she goes, "Why don't you just go and like walk around the track or just go and do a really super light workout?" And I listened to her. And one time I didn't even really work out. I just stretched. But I saw people I knew. I felt better. I got out of the couch, out of the house, off the couch. And that is so important. It will change everything. But I'm not going to tell everybody you have to go to the gym and be like a workout person either. There's many other things. Take a walk around your block. Just go to a coffee house and sit there and read a book instead of reading it on your couch. Anything, just get out, go window shopping, go shopping and spend money if you need to, just get out of the house.
Yeah, that's so important. Absolutely. So what other good things come out of a divorce, Jackie?
I believe that when you get divorced, you get to parent the way that you want, and you don't have to listen anymore to your ex. And that to me was really meaningful, because we're really different.
Yes.
I mean, I don't mean that we parallel parented, although at some points we did, but you can still co-parent and be a team with your ex. I'm a strong supporter of that, but you get to do what you want to do and make your own traditions and handle things the way that you want to handle them. And, I got divorced when my kids were 3 and 5, and it was always just the three of us. And now even, my son lives in downtown Chicago, and my daughter came home, and the three of us met for dinner. And I was like thinking, the three of us have been through so much together.
Wow. Absolutely. I think about, my ex-husband did not like to go to restaurants very much. He always liked to eat at home. He was raised with a mom who stayed home and cooked all the time. But obviously I work and I've always been very committed to my career. And so I haven't really been that person. And my mom was a career woman as well. And so I like to go out to restaurants, and I like to take my kids out to restaurants. And when we were married, that was the source of tension. Like if I wanted to go to a restaurant, that was a source of tension between us. And so, Jackie, I have to say, it was so nice when I was able to just take my kids to a restaurant. It was my decision. We got to sit down and enjoy our time together. And it just, I could hear what you're saying.
I know, it is so nice. And for people listening, if you have young kids, enjoy, but wait till they get older. They're so much fun. They're like your best friends. They're so cute. They'll always be like your kids, no matter how old they are, but it's delightful.
See, I have teenagers still, so we're not there yet.
Oh, almost. You're pretty close. You're in the phase where I was a few years ago when I went out of town and my neighbor said my whole garage was full and there was a huge party and a kegger. That wasn't that long ago.
Well, hopefully everybody was okay.
Yes, thank God.
Any other good things that come out of a divorce that you want to share with us?
Well, I think we have to say this, Leah, that divorce creates the opportunity for you to be with the right person. It doesn't happen overnight, but I've never met any person who said, my husband really was the love of my life. And I've never met anyone again 20 years later that I loved so much. Even if they didn't meet anyone, they're glad they're divorced. I mean, have you ever met anyone who ever said they should never have gotten divorced and it was a terrible idea and they truly still love their husband?
I definitely have people who still love their spouse, but even if they love their spouse, they're still happy that they made that decision for one reason or another. And even I care about my ex on some level. I look at him as family. He's my kid's dad and everything.
Same.
But I'm happily remarried. He's happily remarried. We were not the right partners for one another. And I hear what you're saying. I think it does give you an opportunity to find that right person for yourself.
Well, what I want to know, Leah, is if your ex-husband goes to restaurants with his new wife.
She loves to cook. He found a better partner for him, right? So she loves to cook. She loves to do that at home and to eat at home with the kids. And so that works for them.
Working out for everybody.
That's right. Well, Jackie, your website has so many wonderful resources and your podcast has so many wonderful resources. Where can people find all these wonderful resources?
divorcedgirlsmiling.com. It's the only link to go to. I mean, the podcast is available on Apple, anywhere podcasts can be found. But if you go to divorcedgirlsmiling.com, it'll take you to the podcast, the articles, the trusted professionals, of course. And then if you want to sign up for my free consult, you can do that on the site as well.
And I have to recommend that to everybody who's listening because Jackie doesn't work with people individually. What Jackie does is she has curated this amazing network of professionals who are members of Divorced Girls Smiling. And as she gets to know you through this consultation, she's going to be able to share with you who's going to be a fantastic fit to really support you based on what your specific needs are. So I just think everybody should take advantage of that conversation with Jackie because there's no risk to you, only benefit. And so you might as well.
And it's free and it's confidential. So I don't even share it with the professionals that I recommend. I don't share anything you tell me in it.
Well, Jackie, I so appreciate you spending time with us today. I'm going to include a link to the article that she and I were talking about today so you can see all of those 8 great things written out. But I think it's a great perspective on really looking at what is the silver lining and really reflecting on what you're grateful for as a result of this process instead of focusing on the loss. The fact of the matter is, everybody who goes through this process is losing something. There is a period of grief that you go through that's completely normal, but that doesn't mean that you can't also see the silver lining, right? It can be a both. It doesn't have to be an or. And I think that's so powerful. Jackie, do you have any other final words you'd like to share with our audience today?
Sure. How about if we close with this? If you're listening to this, the biggest, best advice I can give you is believe in yourself and love yourself. If you've made mistakes, so what? Forgive yourself. It doesn't help to punish yourself or feel guilty or feel like, oh, I made a mistake. Okay, we all make mistakes. Believe in yourself. You are a beautiful, kind person. You're a good parent. You're working hard and you deserve a new life of happiness. So that's my advice.
Oh, I love that. That is such a wonderful note to conclude on. For our audience, thank you so much for being here with us today, for sharing in my conversation with Jackie. Jackie, thank you for being here, and I hope you all have a wonderful week. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining me on Intentional Divorce Insights. It's a privilege to share this time with you. I hope each episode offers valuable guidance to navigate your journey. If you find our content helpful, please leave a review to help others discover the benefits of intentional decision-making in divorce.
Until next time, take care and continue to embrace your path with intention.